distractions. Now, I'm not going to get into like specific distractions, like if you do this and you don't do this, and this isn't a distraction, and you better wake up and you better do this. I kind of want to get specific in our compulsive, busy, and our default of this busyness and this stressing out over things, rushing around, concern over things that really don't matter in the long run, and kind of how we can take distractions away to learn, get this, to learn to live a simpler life and to be able to create space in what truly matters to you specifically. So how do you prioritize contemplation? How do you prioritize creation or creativity? How do you prioritize creating connections with people and projects, the work that you do with yourself, with others, in collaboration, with those things that matter most? So let's look at that. So the lens of distraction, I want to look at that in more of a esoteric, spiritual, self-aware side of who you are in a hyper customizable approach. And so let's look at number one. So let's talk about negative thinking. And I talk about this all the time. And if you guys listen to podcasts, you're going like, oh my God, Jason, you're talking about negative thinking again. But I'm gonna kind of give it to you in this lens. We know negative thinking distracts us from living our best lives. Because when we struggle, when we fail, we know that that creates great success, and that struggle that we have will catapult us, 10x us into greatness. And that we need to kind of understand that in this moment, this game, this matrix, the struggle that we have, our higher self, the universe has said, hey, you're worthy for the struggle now. But what we do during the struggle is develop these negative thought patterns. Then we begin to contemplate and wish away those days, waiting for better ones ahead. Maybe we become reactive to it. And so instead of actually getting super self-aware, gaining super clarity, and deciding, okay, I'm struggling in this area, I need to know what I'm going to learn. And so this is a catalyst for me right now during this struggle to understand what I need to learn to catapult me, to 10x me to the next level. And we're all learning and growing, all of us. We're going to be doing that until we die, hopefully. And we should be thankful for the lessons that we've learned because they make us our best selves. And we can make the best of things right now by changing those negative thought processes. And so negative thinking, number 2, needless drama. This is a distraction. We need to learn to gracefully walk away from situations that threaten, number 1, our peace of mind. Number 2, your self-respect. Number 3, your values. Number 4, your morals. And number 5, your self-worth. Needless drama will destroy all of these. And you need to learn how to walk away. You need to practice walking away from situations. Don't think of it as a person. Think of it as a situation. And if they're not bringing peace into your life, walk away. If they can't respect you, some of you need to get a new job because the job that you have now, no one respects you there. And whether you earned that or whether you didn't, a lot of people, there's that old saying that, a prophet is not accepted in his own town. Well, sometimes, I had to do this. I had to learn this. I had managers that I grew up with, and I didn't become a manager until I went to another dealership. And then I became a manager because the place that I was trained up at, they just viewed me as a salesperson. This was a long time ago when I was in the car business. And so I could never become a manager there because they just always viewed me as this great salesperson that does a great job. But they never looked at me like, hey, no, this is manager material. Where when I first went to another dealership And they looked at me right from the beginning as a manager, and those expectations, responsibilities were there, and I had to work my ass off. So I was able to gain self-respect in that new environment. So I had to pivot away from the old environment and come into the new environment to gain self-respect. Values, morals, or self-worth. How many times do you give up your values and morals in order to appease someone else? Now, some of you have exes that you're thinking of right now where you give up your values and morals and self-worth. You give them to them when you know that it's easier for you to just to give in instead of stand up for yourself or walk away from the situation. How do you let go of drama? Well, you got to start valuing your time. You got to start looking at it and saying, this is unnecessary for my success. This is tearing me down. I don't have time for this. And you need to look at you need to study and learn what a genuine relationship is. Next, peace of mind. What does that look like for you specifically? Because this is going to create a more fulfilling life. And it may take you 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks to walk away from something. If it's longer than 4 weeks, you're kind of, dipping your toe in and out of the muddy water. Gracefully walking away from something is putting yourself first, and that's important. Putting your success first, looking at the long run, that long marathon run that you have ahead for success, looking at that. So, what's the next one? We also need to let go of the desire for everything we don't have. We're not going to always get what we exactly want. Instagram is not your friend in that arena. People spend so much wasted money on things that do not return an ROI. And ROI is return on investment. Why would you buy that very expensive car when all it's going to do is depreciate? Why not get a nice car that's practical, and the extra money that you have, start that online business online that's going to be making you some money, or whatever you want to do. Use the extra funds or keep the car that you have right now and change your perspective and shift on that. A lot of times you can go get your car now detailed, spend money, get it really detailed, really nice, get it waxed, get it looking really good, or get a new stereo system with speakers, and keep your old car if it's running good. Take that money that you have that you would spend on things that depreciate and go take that money and buy stocks, buy whatever. Invest it so that it makes money for you. Invest in yourself, whatever that may be. Appreciate what you have. Be grateful for what you have. It's the little things in life. We know this that makes the difference. Super rich, ultra rich people, some of them are suicidal right now. Some of them are depressed as hell. And we look at the success for kids with super rich people is not that great. Why? Because they've looked at this. They've seen this. They understand what we just talked about. They've gotten everything that they've ever want. They could walk into the Gucci store, put daddy's credit card down, and spend $25,000. And you're like, oh my God, that would be a dream. Yeah, that is fun. And it's great. And it's awesome. And if you have the money, go for it. Live nice. I'm not saying not to live luxury, but I'm saying if you do not have that disposable income now, and I wouldn't do that unless you're at least past it, $1, $2, $3 million. You don't need to be walking around with fake things or fancy things just because you want to look good in front of other people's. And this is my next point. Social comparison is another big distraction that can steal your joy and progress. You could spend a lifetime worrying about what others have, but it's not going to make you to be able to have them. It doesn't give you any self-worth. Instead, what you should focus on is your own damn path and what you want to freaking achieve in life, because it's your responsibility, 100% your responsibility. Your dream is to have a Louis Vuitton purse. Guess what? Go earn it. Put in the hours. Work your ass off. Get 2 or 3 jobs. Do whatever you need to do. Find a way to make money online. Study. Figure it out. Earn the money, and then, or say, when I make this amount of money, I'm giving myself a year to do it. And in that year, I'm going to reward myself and buy myself a Louis Vuitton purse. But I'm going to earn that money. If I'm not making 100 grand by next year, I'm not buying the purse. But I'm going to make a plan and clarity. And the goal that I'm going to have on this date, at this time, I'm going to go to a Louis Vuitton store and I'm buying a purse for myself that's going to be 3 grand, 5 grand, whatever. Put it on paper, write it down, hold yourself accountable. Put that purse or the trip or whatever you want, put it on a vision board, put it in front of you so that you see it every single day. Don't just make a vision board and have no clarity of how you're going to get there. I see this all the time. You know why the vision board didn't work? Because you're just wishing. You're just like, it's like visual pictures of a magazine. And then you're not doing shit but just watching Netflix and eating bad food and wishing. Wishing doesn't get you anywhere. Working your ass off and figuring out your own path and finding your creative abilities, finding those gifts that God has given you that only you have, that you can embrace the world with this beautiful, beautiful, inexplicit gift that you only have, that the world needs. And then you being in service to others, giving that gift, creating tons of value because somebody says, this person's rare. They have an amazing gift. I need that. Focus on your own path. Next, obsessing over who we were or what we had in the past. That distracts you from living in the present. I've seen this over and over and over again. People are like, talking about their high school days when they played football or when they were married before they got a divorce and they lost it all and their husband was supporting them. I've heard all the stories. Or I can remember when I was in high school band or people tell the same past stories and they're living in this old memory. I don't care that you bench press 350 pounds when you were 18. Who cares? What are you doing now? How good of shape are you now? You need to constantly evolve and grow. And experiences don't stop. They don't stop. You should be having better experiences than you did when you were 18. We need to embrace the privilege of living a life full of new experiences. What are the new experiences you have? If you're focusing on the past, that means that you're not having any new experiences. Next, worrying about old mistakes is another distraction that can keep you from living your best life. We need to give ourselves a break and use our mistakes as motivation to do better in the future. That's all it is. Failure, mistakes, it's just motivation to do a better fucking job in the future. We also need to let go of worrying about what everyone thinks and says about us. You can't change how people treat you or what they say about you. And I guarantee you, people that you love say bad shit about you because they're humans, because you've done the same damn thing. You've gossiped. We all have. You've lied about somebody. You've exaggerated the truth. You've said shitty things that you regret. We've all done it. You can't change that. You can change how you react to it. You can change your mindset in saying that I'm free from these things because I recognize that they're unconscious when they say it, as I was when I said it. And that's just them being unconscious. That is not a reflection of me. What they said about me has nothing to do with me. It has everything to do with them. Not everyone's going to like everyone. And no one has to like me. I'm perfectly fine to read my books and do my work and what I need to do. Now, I have friends that motivate me. I have friends that are positive. I have friends that I learn that are mentors. And those are the people that I want in my life. What they say about me, and let me say this. I'm being hard about this because I have this issue. And I have to talk myself out of it. The quickest way for me to fall into my depression is to hear somebody that I look up to say some shit about me. Next thing you know, I'm like worrying about it and can't sleep. I'll worry about it for 2 or 3 days. And I have to, it's just an opportunity for me to work on myself. Why am I so fragile? Why do I think that person, their 1 minute rant or 30-second rant, and then they're all thinking about something else? They're not thinking about me, but I'm obsessing about them. Next, self-deception. This is another distraction. We need to be honest with ourselves. Self-deception is so real. You have a bias for yourself, especially if you're narcissistic. Sadistic, you can look up Jordan Peterson. He has the triad, the dark triad he talks about. Whether you agree with him or not, doesn't matter. This is really interesting. It's psychology. The first and most difficult chance we can take every day is to be honest with ourselves. Call yourself out on bullshit. That's why I love that Andy Frisella, and I know he's right wing and all that stuff. I don't care about that. He come up with that 75 hard challenge, and I did that. I did it 3 times. Twice I failed at it, because you have to be honest with yourself with that program. If you've tried 75 hard, I encourage you to try it. If you've tried it, it's all mental, and it's all about being honest with yourself. It brings out all the self-deception that you have in you. You think it's a physical challenge? No, it's a mental challenge. We also need to make sure that our life path feels rewarding. Life is to be enjoyed, not endured. If you believe in what you're doing, it will show. Success in life for those who put their heart and soul into their daily efforts, that's those that become successful organically. You don't have to force success. And don't base all of your ideas and happiness on other people's opinions and expectations. Define your own damn path. What does success and happiness mean to you? Maybe making $30,000 a year and doing what you absolutely love as an artist is your path, and that's success and happiness for you. Then go for it and do it. But I think if you're an artist and you're passionate about it, there are ways that you can do new things. You can study a little bit of marketing, kind of, if you're entrepreneurial, just a little bit. There's some things that you can do to get your paintings out there. Networking and doing those things in word of mouth, and getting yourself into galleries and small galleries and getting those paintings with eyes on them. Going online, social media and TikTok and all those things. There's so many things that you can do in defining your own path that will create success. Distractions can come in many forms, and they will keep us from living our best life. So we need to be self-aware and mindful of these little things, these little tiny grenades that will trip us up. And these distractions create compulsive busyness, negative thinking, needless drama, social comparison. And letting go of worrying about what others think of us, and instead focusing on being true to ourselves, being honest with ourselves, taking those chances, defining our own path. And I'm telling you, you will live a life that is full of joy, fulfillment, and purpose.
Thank you for joining us on the Albuquerque Business Podcast. And thanks to our sponsor, RigbyDigital.com. Make sure to subscribe and share. And go to abqpodcast.com. Get show notes, resources, and links to everything we talked about today to help you navigate your journey as an entrepreneur and business owner.